cave. Nick, you had a wonderful series of concerts, I've heard. Are you well?
Well, they weren't all wonderful, actually. And am I well? Oh, yeah, a bit well, yeah.
Yeah. Great. I've read this book you've written, Inking, King Ink, and there's a thing says something about dumb Europe. What did you mean by that?
What do I mean by dumb Europe? Mm-hmm. Well, I meant Europe. Europe, who is all eyes and all ears, but has no tongue.
Mm-hmm. You feel you could be something like a tongue for Europe?
A tongue for Europe.
Sounds good, doesn't it?
A tongue for Europe. No, not at all. I can be the tongue for no one but myself.
Mm. Do you like Europe? Generally?
Well, I mean, it's impossible really to answer that. I mean, Europe is not one country. It's a lot of very different countries. I mean, there are certain parts of Europe I like better than others. I mean, I like Berlin and I like Hamburg. I mean, I like there's a couple of places in the rest of Europe that I like. I like the red light district in Amsterdam, but basically the rest of Europe. No, I don't like France. I don't like Scandinavia. Actually, let's start again, right? Let's start again.
Start again. Okay.
Sorry.
Start again. Start again.
If I start off too slowly like that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. This concert is supposed to be the last one. It's supposed to be the last one. No.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, it's the last of our concerts to promote this particular single. Yeah.
Single.
And we're only doing a small number of concerts. Mm-hmm. The days of touring are long, of long tours.
You like to go on tour?
Well, you let me finish my sentence first before you start yours, okay? The days of touring are long gone for us. We just do kind of one here and one there these days.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Okay.
Is it stressing for you?
Because the quality of the shows suffer. I think once you've played 6 times or so live, you can't really offer very much more of anything other than kind of some sort of a routine. Mm-hmm. You cease to be able to kind of dig up any new ways to sing the song or kind of to respond to people. So it only works for us really to do a handful of shows at any one time.
So it's much more interesting for you to not get a routine. That's exactly the opposite to the other bands. They try to get a routine before they go on tour.
Yeah, I mean, for me, routine is the ballast that chains the dog to its vomit. Yeah.
You're very much into writing.
Writing?
Writing. I read this book. Well, I didn't read it. I read through it. I read some poems. I read some pieces. Most of it I didn't understand, but some things I thought I would, or I did.
What didn't you understand?
Just the way the thoughts were put together. It was just, for me, it was a bit. I couldn't follow you in a lot of things, but that's my problem, of course. What do you do? What do you do when you're not on stage?
Well, I do a lot of writing.
You sit down deliberately to write, or do you just let it flow? Or
I do most of my writing sitting down. Sometimes I stand up. Sometimes I stand up.
Do you go somewhere and say, "I want to write now," or like?
Writing.
Yes,
Oh,
writing.
sorry. Okay. Uh, um, yeah, I spend most of my time writing as well.
Is it like work for you, like labor?
Yes.
You go there from 9 to 5, or is it just a job you do any time of the day?
No, it's like working from can to can't. Can hardly see when you send out. Can't see a thing when you call back. It's all my waking hours are spent writing.
Is there anything you'd like to really do, like writing you wrote some plays, or there's some fractions of plays in this book? Is that a thing you would sort of emphasize more, or you wanted to emphasize?
What do you mean by that question?
Well, I'm trying to ask if there's anything you'd like to do with this sector of writing and being creative by writing. Is there anything that would sort of tickle you, like write a film or write a play for a stage, for a big stage, or for, I don't know, something like that?
Well, I don't know, really. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I'd like to write a film or a play for a big stage. It'd be all right.
You waiting for offers, or will you do it yourself?
Well, at the moment I'm writing a novel, and that takes up all my time at the moment.
It will be out in autumn, I think, yeah? Or it's supposed to be out then?
It was supposed to be out about 3.5 years ago, actually, but it's taken a lot longer than the publisher and I expected it to take. But it's it's a lot. It's the whole thing's a lot more of a kind of mammoth, epic. Thing than it was.
Could you rough it up? What it's about?
It's about a mute that's dumb, like dumb Europe. It's about a mute who can't speak, a boy can't speak. And he's lying in quicksand. This is this wet sand that sucks you under. And he's gradually being pulled under, and he's telling, and he's being hunted down by people, and he tells the story of how he's gotten into this situation. And this story spans his entire lifetime from the time in the boozy curds of his mother's womb, where he floated happily with his brother, to the time that he died there, I mean, it's his death story, in fact. And he tells the story of a kind of waning or a small religious sect who lives in this valley where he lives, who are kind of falling apart morally and socially. And he is an outsider, and he lives on the very outskirts of this particular valley, and he is chastised and punished and generally kicked around by the people of this valley. And the valley is a sugarcane growing industry as well. So the valley is made up of itinerant workers who drift in and harvest the fields and so on, rough, dirty men, and kind of religious fanatics, Puritans, and so on. And my novel dissects this dichotomy.
Are you afraid of dying?
Yeah, I am terrified of dying at the moment.
Is that the way you sort of imagine your own death, in the moment of death, like strolling through your past life?
Yeah, I mean that. Maybe that's what hell is. Maybe hell is just your life in retrospect. But no, I don't imagine. I don't imagine that's what death is. But sometimes I feel sick to think of dying. When I think of what will happen after I'm, dead. My mortal body is dead. Sometimes the whole thought makes me feel physically sick, really.
You wrote an article about the Einstürze Neubauten. I read, and about Blixa. Are you two sort of brothers in spirit?
Yeah, we're Siamese twins of the soul. Siamese twins of the soul.
When did you find that out? The first time? Was that like...
Yeah, in fact, yeah. I always felt a little kind of tugging of the skin around the hip, and a tugging of the skin around the heart. And one day I saw him in Holland, in fact, on television, and I knew there and then that he was this. And he was this being that was attached to the other end of the piece of ligature, the piece of invisible ligature that tugged at my heart.
You get along well on tour with the whole band?
No, we don't.
You don't?
We
You have difficulties?
well, that's to put it mildly, yeah. Basically, there's a full-on hatred between most of the members of our group. But we managed to swallow that kind of disgust and contempt for each other and carry on, because when we feel responsible to our fans and so on. Our music grows out of negative forces. Our music is the stuff of hate. Yeah.
The stuff of hate. So, yeah. You don't see music as something freeing, as soothing for the soul? Isn't that what makes you let it out?
No. The reason for me being involved in creative pursuits as I am, and so many, is that I find a basic need to externalize my ideas, and by doing so understand my feelings towards things. If I didn't externalize my thoughts and put them into some form that I could kind of see and hold in front of me, I fear the development of myself would be severely retarded. So that's why it's done, and that and the money.
How important is money for you?
It's pretty important. It's extremely important.
Okay. I understand you have to get ready for your show tonight.
No.
Do you want to go on
talking? Sit here and talk to you, yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay. There's some other things I'd like to know about your lyrics. If you mind talking about it, we'll cut it off.
It's supposed to be what you called an associative interview.
No. I was asking. I was asking you if you want to do that, and you said no. You said I have to work some too. Okay, that's okay with me. But I just mean to tell you that there is work in associative interviews, because
You haven't really done much work anyway on the other side. You may as well, we can try one of those.
All right.
Just pulling kind of questions out of, in a sort of blind panic to fill in the spaces. We can.
The feeling.
Yeah, I get that feeling very strongly.
I'm trying to get to know you, which is not that easy because you won't let anybody just come.
Bedroom manner, is it?
Not a bedroom manner. Wouldn't say so. No. It's just we could talk about music, but that's like dancing on architecture. That's very uninteresting. I mean, people can listen to your music if they're interested in that. I think they're much more interested in you as a person. And if you tell me things like that, I think that's okay. That's very precious, much more precious than you talking about music in general. Don't you think? I think it's much more interesting for the people to see what makes you tick. And if you say things like, for me, music is evil, is something bad that comes out, and it's, for me, it's a source, I have to put it out because otherwise it would sort of destroy me or myself as a person. That's very interesting, I think, and it gives a good picture of you, don't you think?
Are you some closet Satanist or something?
No.
I didn't say my music was an evil force within inside.
Okay, that's my very meager interpretation of that.
Very loose interpretation.
Well, you're the poet.
Well, yeah, I suppose I am. When it all boils down to it. I'm the verse monger, the man of words. Yeah.
When did you first?
I'm the one having that thing poked. I'm the face that thing is poking at.
When did you first start writing lyrics? Can you remember?
Well, for as long as I can remember, really, which is about a week ago. Well, no, just for all of my creative life has been involved in the pursuit of lyrical pursuits.
Do you like making future plans?
No, not really. Any plans that I make in the future are so. I rarely pull them off anyway, and I'm so kind of tied up in trying to hold together the present that I really don't get time to make plans for the future. The present is too full and complicated. I'm Jesus-like in my sense of the present.
Jesus-like? What do you mean?
I mean, I'm like Jesus in that respect.
Could you explain that to me? I'm not Christian.
I thought you said you were Christian.
My name is Christian, but
I see. Oh, that's a pity, isn't it?
So?
Yeah.
It's okay with me. Christian, like something being holy, or what do you mean? Walking waters?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I mean by that, really. Jesus had an incredible sense of the present, I think.
You mean awareness of?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, he had neither a kind of mind for the past, in that he held any kind of grudges or despised anybody for what they had done in their past life, nor did he have any kind of, nor were his plans compromised for the future. He lived purely for the moment, and his life was quite a kind of well, there were a lot of very kind of terrible forces going on in his life, and I think he must have been quite a clever person to maintain this kind of awareness of the future, of the present.
Do you think it has to do with cleverness or thoughtfulness?
Well, being a kind of for someone like myself who oscillates between belief and doubt, as I so often am, it often makes things a lot easier if I believe that Christ was just an incredibly clever person, rather than that he was imbued with some godly spiritualness. It's quite easy to understand why Christ could be the way he was if you were to believe that he was in fact a limb of God himself. But to have that opinion, then you have to kind of believe in God and so forth. And
Do you?
well,
Are you? Would you say you're religious?
I would say I was religious. Yeah, but I mean, I have a lot of trouble, a lot of problems maintaining a belief in the whole thing.